figures it's definitely the most populated state in the country, so it stands to reason why they'd be number one. And by that logic, you think that another large state like Texas would be number two on that list. Well, the number two state last year with a couple deaths because of tobacco was the state of Florida, which is significantly smaller and less populated than California. And their numbers weren't too far off with California. They had about 35,000 and some change behind the state of Florida alone last year. They're no strangers to being number two on that list. They've been there for about 5-6 years in a row. So those are the two states that had the biggest problem. New York was number three last year. Texas was number four. And the state of Pennsylvania rounded out the top five. To give you an idea, the five states that had the biggest problem with adult deaths from tobacco. Where do you think your state falls in the line on that list? Connecticut was tied for 29th last year. You guys were tied with the state of Mississippi for 29th. Now, I know it's not a serious problem as what I just mentioned in the top five. However, given the size of your state, that's still a pretty big problem right here in the state of Connecticut. And one of the reasons why we're out here on the road, nobody shows in your neck of the woods. There's a lot of other information you can get off of that graph. It's called Tobacco Toll of the USA, and YouTube can download it over there at tobacco3kids.org. So there's some numbers as far as people are getting sick and dying from actually using the tobacco products, which brings me to my next point, and that is secondhand smoke. Now, if you guys have health class here, or you've had health class in the past, and you've got on the subject of tobacco, I'm sure you don't need to be spending a great deal of time talking about secondhand smoke. You don't even have to have health class to know about this issue. Just pick up a newspaper, turn on the television. They're talking about secondhand smoke in the media all the time. Why? They say that stuff's actually worse for you than if you were actually smoking the cigars or the cigarettes yourself. With that U.S. death toll I just gave you every year from tobacco use, that over 400,000, cut that number in half. You've got about 200,000 people every single year in this country alone getting sick and dying because of health complications.